welcome back to 4F Beauty. Today I'm doing a wear time test on Fenty foundation and using one of my top 5 drugstore palettes. I'm showing you a really nice, quick, simple, all matte look that's suitable for work, college, whatever. I really hope you enjoy this tutorial, because if you don't, and you don't keep watching, then I'm just singing to myself. When will I be YouTube famous? Subscribe button. Just down there. Here's your tutorial. Hey, hi, welcome back from the intro. As I've already explained, trying out my Fenty today, and I've gone over it with the Revolution Conceal and Define in C1. That's all I've done so far. I'm now going to set it with some of this Revolution lace powder. I don't bake because, to be quite frank, the fine lines under my eyes don't need the help. Going in with a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to set this concealer before it creases too much. And then of course I'll go ahead and set the rest of my face as well. So how are you today? We've finally got rid of the snow, thank the Lord. Beast from the east is gone, although apparently the pest from the west is on the way now. Who thinks these names up? I mean, really. It's nearly as bad as Boaty McBoatface. Sounds like something out of Thomas the Tank, doesn't it, eh? Pest from the west and the beast from the east. I don't know. Okay, so that's my eyes set. I'm now going to go into a slanted kabuki. This is my Travel Real Techniques one, because, as I'm sure you're sick of hearing if you've watched any number of my videos by now, trying to keep foundation on my nose for any length of time is a challenge. But I find that pushing and pressing the powder using quite a densely packed brush into my nose does help with the longevity. Because when I'm doing foundation reviews and wear time tests, I don't add any more powder during the day, I don't blot. The only thing I do is touch lipstick up throughout the day. My actual face I don't do anything to, just so we can see exactly how it behaves. And going in there with a big fluffy brush, I'm just going to set the rest of my face. And yes, I am doing that in a stippling motion, because the last thing we want, after having very carefully blended our makeup out to look flawless and seamless, the last thing we need is to chuck some powder on, do that, and get a streak. Trust me, I've had it happen. It's very frustrating. And I said many, many rude words, which I will not repeat now. Once you've got that first layer on and you've got it set, then it's much safer to do this kind of movement, just to dust any excess off. But I always prefer to stipple first. Okay. Now, base products. Let's do my bronzer first. I think I'm going to go into my favourite, which is this Barry M Afterglow Light, and if I hold it next to my face, you can see the size. You get a really good amount of product in here. And using a big fluffy brush, just going to tap in, tap off, and just do under my cheekbones here and up round the side, anywhere the sun would touch, basically. Try and just warm the face back up, because obviously the foundation has effectively wiped any natural colour. Well, I say effectively wiped colour out. It's taken me from my natural blue to white, or a very pale pink. I don't get a tan. I go from white to lobster and back to white again. And to quote Billy Connolly, it takes me half an hour in the sun to lose the blue. That was a shocking accent. I apologise to all my Scottish viewers. Shona, you can slap me next time you see me, love. Right, going from my big... Should I do my chin? Yeah, let's do my jawline. I don't always do my jawline, it depends on my mood. But as I've got a full coverage foundation on, I might as well. I've not built this up to full coverage, I've got it to sort of a dark, a heavy medium, or a light full, whichever description you prefer best. Just because I didn't think that my skin needed it. I've only really got one unwanted visitor here, and with a bit of luck my hair will cover that up most of the time. Right, this was my big bronzer brush, and this is my more tapered one that I'm going to use to put my blush on with. I'm actually going to go in to the I Heart Makeup Blushing Hearts Triple Baked Blusher in Bursting with Love. Yes, we know it's a dupe for Too Faced, but it's not a dupe on Too Faced prices. And it's a really lovely, soft, ever so got a slight sheen to it, pink. I just blend all three colours together. I mean, obviously, at a pinch, if you're going away for the weekend and you want to bring as little makeup with you as possible, you could pack that and use that as, the individual shades as eyeshadow. You can use your bronzer as your transition shade if you want a matte shade first. But if you check out my Tan Beauty haul with the surprise egg review, in there I show you how you can do a look with all shimmers. You don't need mattes, but I understand that a lot of you might prefer that. Okay, now it's brow time. As always, clean spoolie. Just brush these little ones into some semblance of a shape as to where I want them. I overplucked them in the 90s, but let's face it, who my age didn't? And I'm going to go in, as ever, with my, you can probably say it with me by now, Essence Super Last 24-Hour Eyebrow Pomade Pencil Waterproof. And as always, I'm just going to follow the shape of my brow. Do you know what? I think my brows might actually be going grey. Sounded very Marge Simpson then, didn't I? I'm like a rabid Wolverine. I suppose I've got the nails for it. Which are done by the wonderful Sophie. I've got her linked in my description box below. You can go and have a look at some of the gorgeous nails that she's produced. That woman is so talented, I tell you. She, every single time, I've given her so many challenges over the years, and she's always met it and done even better than I thought she would. Remember, folks, eyebrows are related. Sisters, not twins. Some days mine aren't even talking to each other. Some days they're cousins. Some days they're feuding. Some days they actually behave. And I'm never quite sure until I start doing them what sort of relation we're going to have. Sorry, I'm aware that I'm not looking at you. I'm looking at my, it's either I look in my viewfinder or I look down here, in which case there's a risk that I disappear off screen, which I know I've done quite a few times. I'm sorry about that. I've raised my mirror up to try and stop me from doing that quite so much. So hopefully there won't be quite so many times when you're looking at my hairline instead of what I'm doing. Right, I'm going to go into this Benefit Ready Set Brow, which they've renamed, I believe, as Brow Setting Gel. You don't have to use this. You can use, I use this on my pre-teens one, which is the Essence Lash and Brow Gel, which is just a clear mascara. Or if push comes to shove, you can spray a bit of hairspray on your spoolie and just brush them through to keep them in control and where you want them. Mine do tend to have, although they're not too bushy now because of the over plucking and they're only really starting to grow back the last few years. But I do have every so often one hair will decide to make a break for freedom, and it curls up and points off in weird directions. And it fidgets the heck out of me if I see it. Right, as always, I've got my colour switch here for changing colour on powder brushes. And today I'm going to go into one of my favourite, so I'm just taking the brush out, one of my favourite eyeshadow palettes. And it's actually the first ever Makeup Rev palette that I ever bought. And it's Neutrals versus Neutrals. It's got one of these annoying little easy to lose pieces of paper to tell you what the colours are called. But how beautiful is that? You've got all your, your naked heat warm tone colours here, but up here you've got more cooler ones, and these are the ones I'm going to go into today. I'm going to specifically go into this taupe, and then I'm probably going to add a wee bit of this one and maybe this one to deepen it up. What I will try and do, if I remember, is I'll take a screenshot of this and I'll annotate it somewhere up here probably, as to which colours I'm actually using. I will try and tell you the name of them as well, if I remember. So I'm going to start off with Adapt. So let's bring you in a wee bit, just so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to tap into Adapt, tap any excess off the brush so we don't get any fallout. And as always, I'm going to do windscreen wiper movements to start with, following the shape of my eyeball. Can you guess what's coming next? Sure you can. Looking straight ahead, you can see all of my lid here, which means that I don't have a hooded eye. If you can only see half of it, or none of it, you've either got a half hooded or a full hooded eye. If that's the case, you need to move your crease up a bit because otherwise it won't be seen. So get a pencil brush like this, with your eye open, pick up your crease colour and just sketch across the top here where you need your crease to be. Once you've done that a few times, you won't need to sketch it, you'll know just where it needs to go, but that way you can still follow this tutorial because your crease instead of here is just up here. Okay, so you can still follow me, you can still recreate these looks. So I did windscreen wiper first, and now I'm doing little tiny helicopter circular movements, holding the brush right at the very end, so I'm putting as little pressure on as possible because we want this to be a nice, seamless, blended look. Don't want any harsh edges, as always, because I didn't do it with the blue, but as always I tend to stop it about 4 or 5 mil below my eyebrow, but you take it to wherever you feel comfortable. Okay, and then we're going to repeat this side, so we're going to do our windscreen wiper, or sketch it out if you need to, and then we're going to helicopter. No, not like that. I know what you're thinking. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're too young, that's fine. If you do know what I'm talking about, get your mind out of the gutter. Okay, so we're just gonna, the trick with blending is to blend until you feel like your hand's gonna fall off, and just keep going for another couple of minutes. There's no such thing as too much blending unless you're using shadows that go muddy, and these ones don't, they're really, really good. Okay, so we've got our transition shade down, which is a nice soft taupe. So now I'm going to clean the colour off with a brush, and I'm still going to use this same fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into Suit. as in a three-piece suit, which is a slightly darker brown. I'm just going to run that across through the crease, and I'm going to do the circular motions again, but I'm not going to take it so high this time. Take it about half the distance, I suppose, between the two, just to add a wee bit of depth. Okay. Don't panic, I know that's not completely blended yet, but I want to do this eye first, get it to the same point. See, this is the issue that I have, where I've lost so much weight and where I'm the wrong side of 40. When I'm putting colours on, my eyelid moves, and that's when you can get gaps. So this is something that you won't really see with, you know, your people like your Jeffree Star and your Tati, because they basically either have Botox or haven't got old enough yet for this to be affecting them. This eye creases more than the other one does because this is the eye that I'm blind in, so it got pulled about an awful lot when I was a child at the ophthalmic hospital. So I've got about the same amount of colour on both sides there, I think. Now what I'm going to do is take all the colour off of that brush. So I'm not adding any more colour, but I'm just going to go on the edges of that darker brown and just blend them into the transition shade so that there's no hard and fast line of where one colour starts and the next one stops. We want a seamless transition because we're not doing a cut crease, so we want blending. Blend, 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 blend. Okay. Clean the brush again in case it's picked up any. And now I'm going to get my little chunky pencil brush and I'm going to go into this lovely chocolate brown on the top called Custom, and it really does look like a bar of Galaxy. And I'm just going to run that across the top of my eyeball or wherever your crease needs to be, and run it a third of the way along the lid at the lash line, and really gently just colour that corner in. That gives us our rough guide. And using our fluffy, smaller fluffy brush, I'm just going to dip the very tips of the bristles into that same brown, waggle on the top lid, wiggle on the bottom. So we're going to stick it in the corner there and just waggle it backwards and forwards, little tiny motions all the way across our crease, and just gently buff that corner just to get a nice blend. Alright, and once we're happy with that, we're going to start doing little tiny circular motions, but we're only going to do it through the crease. We're not taking it up at all. We're literally just doing it along that crease line just to buff that one out a little bit. Okay, can you see the difference there? And now we're going to repeat on the other eye. So, pencil brush, sketch it out, third of the way along the lid, colour the corner, and it's much easier to show you on this eye because obviously I can close it, but if I close this eye when I'm doing this one I can't see anything. Then it really would be the blind leading the blind and I'd end up looking like goodness only knows what. Okay, so pick up a little bit on the tip of our bristles again, give it a waggle, backwards and forwards, just to soften that line, and then blend the corner out. Remember, we're going up at the corners, otherwise it makes our eyes look droopy and sad and old. Nobody wants that. So we're just going to do little circular motions all the way along that crease line there, wherever yours happens to be. Okay. And now I'm going to get a very flat brush like this, and I'm going to dip it into this gorgeous apricot-y colour called Vogue, which makes you want to start doing all of this, start singing at you. But I won't. I won't subject you to that again. I'll just put that right up underneath the lashes. Just take it about 2/3 of the way along the lower lash. And then repeat on this side. Clean that brush off. And I'm going to go into one that looks like this, very similar to a concealer brush or a thin packer brush. And I'm going to go into very, very light peach in here called Personal. Tap off and just gently run that all the way along the bottom, just to smoke Vogue. Come on, Vogue. Put your body move to the music, you know you can do it. Sorry, I did say I wasn't going to sing it, didn't I? I can't help it. Everything's a song. Everything reminds me of different songs anyway. Alright. And then going into a thicker packer brush like this. Shall I do an all matte look for you today? I haven't done one of those yet. Yes, I think I will. I'm going to go back into Personal, which we've just smoked the bottom lashes out with. I'm just going to pop this on the top lid where we haven't laid any colour down yet. I mean, this would be an ideal look for work. There's no shimmer on it at all. Well, till I start sticking my highlighter on, and then we know I'm going to glow. But you don't have to add highlighter, you can leave it just as this. Just bung a bit of mascara on and lippy, and then you're out the door. Okay, so that's quite a nice, soft, natural look. And then using our little fluffy brush that we used for the dark chocolate brown, without any extra colour on it, I'm just going to buff where the two colours meet, just so that they blend into one another. And again, clean the brush off. I'm now going to go off camera and do some liner and lashes, and I'll be straight back. Don't go anywhere now. Hey, I'm back, and I got my wings on, so I feel like me again now. So now I'm going to go into this Goddess of Love triple baked highlighter in Goddess of Faith, and using my little brush, I'm going to do just the inner corner here, just to brighten it up and make me look like I'm awake. And you can see, for something that looks quite boring in the box, it actually comes out beautifully. I'm going to add a wee bit of a brow highlight on here. just lovely. And of course, the Cupid's bow. And then I'm going to go into my teardrop shaped one and do down the middle of my nose, chin, temples, and then zoom it back out just a wee bit so you can truly appreciate that glow. Look at that. How stunning is that? Which just proves you don't have to spend a fortune to be able to glow. And I think the most expensive thing I've got on my face at the moment is my foundation. Everything else is drugstore. And of course it's the final thingy. Yeah, would have been better if I'd thought of something a little bit different than thingy to say. I am going to use from my mini haul. I'm not sure if I've made that one live yet, so you might be seeing this one before you see my other one. This is the Colourpop's, their new Luxe lipstick range, and this is in Still Crazy, which I thought was quite appropriate for me. And just look how beautiful this packaging is, this component. It's rose gold and it's got little stars all over it. How cute! And the bullet has little stars all around it as well. So pretty. Right, so let's zoom you in while I put some lippy on. You know how to put a bullet lipstick on. I don't need to tell you, do I? So soft and creamy, these lipsticks. Super lightweight too. Don't feel heavy on your lips at all. And you can see no streaking either, which I always appreciate. And now it's time setting spray. Again, I'm going to use my I Heart Makeup fixing spray and liberally douse my face. Do feel free to join in now. You know, once I've spent time putting my makeup on, I like it to stay where it is. Alright, I am gonna go off camera and do something with my hair. Be right back. Don't go nowhere now. Hey, told you I wouldn't be long. Okay, this is the final look. I hope you found it helpful, useful, fun maybe. If you did, think about maybe pushing the like button for me, or subscribing. If you do subscribe, please click the bell icon, because YouTube are shocking at telling you. So I've got a hair in my eye. YouTube are shocking at telling you when new videos go up. So if you do click the bell notification, you'll get an email every time I put up a new video. Bye for now.